Hello friends, welcome back to our channel Let's Crack UPSC. Hope all of your preparation going well and you have followed the last video about the important section that you have to focus for prelim examination from Indian polity and especially M. Lakshmikant. And after that, many of you YouTube subscribers and even emailed me about making other videos, especially about economics and history important portion. So here I am. Today I will be talking about important sections of history you need to focus for prelim preparation. ଯେତେ ବି ଅଛି ସ୍ପେଶିଆଲି ଫର ହିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିରେ କିଛି ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ସେକ୍ସନ ଅଛି ଯୋଉଟା କି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ବହୁତ ଫୋକସ କରିବାକୁ ପଡିବ କାହିଁକି ହିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିରେ ଟୋଟାଲି around 12 ରୁ 14-15ଟା क्वेश्चन आसे स्पेशली फ्रॉम एंशिएंट एंड मिडिवल टाइम्स सेटारू पाखापाखी 4 ରୁ 7ଟା क्वेश्चन आसे बाकी सब मॉडर्न इंडिया रू आसे तो आपनको फोकस କରିବାକୁ पड़ियो कि को सेक्शन I know many of you, especially the science students, they do not like to study history, especially they feel it boring, but you have to study in order to crack the examination. That is the point. You have to study from the point of view that I have to crack this examination. For cracking the examination I have to study. जदि आपण ए मेंटालिटी रखिले तो आपण बहुत जल्दी हिस्ट्री कवर करि परिबे आउ मु जो सेक्शन कहूची एटा स्मार्ट स्टडी टेक्निक बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम लास्ट सो मेनी इयर्स OPSC or even UPSC is asking repeatedly asking about this sections only specifically. So you supposed to be doing n number of revision from this particular sections. Okay, then generally I will recommend you three books. For ancient India, you can follow this R.S. Sharma, Ancient India's Ancient Past. It is a nice book. I will tell you about this book, which particular chapters you supposed to be following. Then medieval time, you can be following this Satish Chandra book. I recommend this Satish Chandra book. It's a nicely written book. Only specific chapters you have to follow. And for modern India, you have to follow this particular thing, the Modern India by A Brief History of Modern India, Spectrum publication. You can also follow Bipin Chandra, but that is written in a story format. Some people find it boring. All the important information are compiled in this Spectrum publication book, so it is very easy to go through and easy to revise. So I would personally recommend this Spectrum publication over Bipin Chandra. You can go Bipin Chandra, no problem, but it is better than Bipin Chandra. If you are preparing for UPSC, I think Bipin Chandra for mains it is very much required. So let's start today's discussion, especially from ancient India. In ancient India, you supposed to be, there are so much of an information in ancient India. No, I know that Harappan civilization and all that is there, but generally they have slowly stopped asking questions from that particular section. The dynamic portion is this: Jainism, Buddhism, Maurya age and Gupta age. From ancient India, if you will ask me, I would recommend these three sections. These three are very, very important: Jainism, Buddhism, then Mauryan age, Ashoka, especially Ashoka, his policy, religious policies, and his statecraft, especially the total the Mauryan administration. जतिकी भी Mauryan administration अच्छी सेटा को भी thoroughly पढ़िबे. Then life in Gupta age. Life in Gupta age includes everything: scientific development, cultural development, some of the even universities. Whatever universities being established during the Gupta age, all the corresponding some important ministers, some important poets, some important scientists, and all the books written, these are very important. So you focus on these three, these are very, very important. Then in medieval times, you have to focus this Satish Chandra book, and then Chola Empire. In medieval India, you have to do selective study. That is Chola Empire, consolidation of Mughal Empire, age under Akbar. Age under Akbar is very, very important. You cannot miss out age under Akbar. Akbar's all religious policy, his viewpoints, then his way of statecraft, the Mansabdari system, and all this. You have to be very thorough. Then, cultural developments in India. Cultural developments like Bhakti movement, like Sufism, and all that, you need to be very thorough because there can be questions asked from this particular section. Then, religious development during Mughal. Religious development during Mughal also is important, during especially during the Akbar's region and post-Akbar region. Whatever the religious development took place in India, you have to be very thorough. Then, climax and disintegration of Mughal. Especially in this particular section, you have to focus on this. That is Shivaji. Shivaji is very, very important. Forget about the battles. Shivaji's you can say statecraft, Ashtapradhan, and the kind of a revenue administration. These are very important. Then after that, directly come to modern India. In modern India, revolt of 1857 is very important. 1857, you have to be very thorough. Then religious reform movement. All kind of a religious reform movement you have to be reading. Then socio-cultural reform movement. Any kind of a socio-cultural reform movement. Whatever the socio-cultural reform movement happened, you have to by heart those socio-cultural reform movement. It will be helpful for prelim. Then modern nationalism in India. Means there are different kind of nationalism was happening. Like you can say the intellectuals were writing wonderful papers, research-based papers. Dadabhai Naroji writing Poverty and Un-British Rule. Then R.C. Dutta was writing The Drain of Wealth. This kind of a theories, all this kind of a theories, the all intellectual development, you have to be very thorough. Any political association happened before Congress, because you need to know what led to foundation of Congress. There were so many of political associations were going before Congress, and slowly it was, you can say, setting the stone for foundation of a all India, pan India, a political establishment, so that the Indian grievances can be better represented to the British Empire. Because even some people say that Bipin Chandra was also telling about what it says, that the Congress was a septival. Some other people also, historians, say that Indians used Congress. You can say Indians used Alan Octavian Hume, the founder of Indian National Congress, as a lightning conductor. So there are different kind of a theories floating around. So this kind of things you need to be know. You need to be very thorough about all this. Then Indian National Congress and Foundation, as I have already told, there was a need for a pan India grievance redressal mechanism, and the Indian nationalists thought that it is appropriate to found a pan India political organization which can project Britishers. What are the needs of the Abar? What are the needs of Indians? So, Indian National Congress was found. Then, let me know in the comment box, who were the first Muslim president of Indian National Congress? Who was the first woman president of Indian National Congress? Who were the first Britisher of Indian National Congress? Who were the first Christian of Indian National Congress? Mahatma Gandhi was the president of Indian National Congress in which session of Indian National Congress? All these 4 to 5 questions you need to answer me in the comment section. Then moderate phase starting from 1885 to 1905. This is the moderate phase where the petition, prayer, and you can say pleading. Petition, prayer, and pleading. These are the 3 instruments used by the moderate in order to grievance redressal. the kind of a grievance is to be redressed through this kind of a effort by the Indian nationalists. So this is the thing you supposed to be thorough, moderate peace, especially the moderates as well as in the, you can say, the moderates and extremists. Who were the moderates, who were the extremists, and there are certain write-ups by extremists, there are certain write-ups by moderates. You need to be thorough about the newspaper publications and any of those. Then non-cooperation movement and then mass struggle, you have to national movement from 1905 to 1918. In this particular section what comes? Partition of Bengal comes, then shifting of Indian capital to this thing, then monumental reform. In this particular section you have to read monumental reform, that is very important. You can know the introduction of communal electorate by monumental reform, by giving a separate representation to the Muslim. So this particular section is also important, and there were so many of, you can say, revolutionary activities which were taking place, just like the incident of especially the Kamagata Maru incident, then this Gadar party. These are all important things you need to be knowing. Then there is a association between first there is a Surat split. Let me know in the comment box when Surat split happened, who was the president of Surat session of Indian National Congress. Then there is reassociation of the moderates and extremists in Lucknow session of Indian National Congress, and it happened during that time. Home rule movement also comes under this section, so it is important. Then I told you about revolutionary activities post 1918. There were so many revolutionary activities, Meerut conspiracy, Kakori conspiracy, there were so many. Then this kind of a Chittagong armory raid, all this section comes under revolutionary activities. Then mass nationalism, especially mass nationalism after coming of Gandhi to India. After coming of Gandhi to India, Gandhi wanted India's freedom struggle to go to the masses. It shouldn't be confined to some few important intellectuals who were deciding what is good for India. If masses are involved, then grievance redressal and presentation towards the British Empire about what Indians want, what India's problems are, it can be far better represented. Gandhi made the movement mass movement. That is important. So Gandhian phase. Then coming to non-cooperation, Khilafat, very very important. Non-cooperation movement and Khilafat. Then Swarajist, all the Swarajis, no changes, pro changes, these are the things. Then social ideas, all the social ideas. Then commission, Simon Commission and Nehru Report. Simon Commission and Nehru Report you supposed to be reading. Then civil disobedience movement and round table conference. Civil disobedience movement and round table conference. You have to be very much thorough about this too. There are so many questions they are asking from this. Then Quit India movement. Quit India movement is very very important. Then demand for Pakistan. Who first demanded for Pakistan? Then how demand took place in SAFE. Then how Ali Jinnah took it to the logical conclusion. There were so many negotiations taking place between Congress and Indian National Congress and Britishers as well as Muslim League. Then what were the demands of especially there were so many, you can say, the Babel plan, then cabinet mission, then Cripps mission and cabinet mission. All these things you need to be very thorough. Then INA, Indian National Army, who founded Indian National Army, how Subhash Chandra Bose took over, then how they approached India, then after that what happened to the especially General Shahnawaz Khan, then G.S. Dillon, Gurbakh Singh Dillon and Sehgal. These were the three generals. Then who were the, you can say, the formation of entire INA. It is important. Then post-war scenario, independence and partition. Post-war scenario means after war, they were only holding only few years in order to transfer the power to Indian hand, because Britishers were totally busy for the reconstruction effort in their own backyard. They were thinking, no, we cannot means ruling in India while our own country is totally devastated due to the second war. So they were totally in that particular phase. After the second world war, they were only the process of handing over of power. That was the time, and there were so many negotiations between Indian National Congress and Muslim League and the Britishers. So how these things happened, you need to be thorough about this particular portion. So I hope you like this particular section. If you like today's video, then do give me a thumbs up, do share with your friend who is preparing for the OS examination. Very, very important, do it repeated revision, then you will get the benefit. Thank you very much. Happy learning.